precision gives you an edge. We offer state-of-the-art therapies to target cancer, which means fewer side effects and more of you living life. Side by side, our collaboration with Mayo Clinic enables our cancer team to consult with world-class experts and deliver you uniquely personalized treatment plans.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. Let's create yours with a built Ford Tough truck. Ford F-150 with impressive max towing capability and available Pro Power on board so you have power on demand. Be future ready with Ford F-150.
Tomorrow might be hard to see, but tomorrow is right in front of us. And we're always looking towards it. Investing another $4 billion in renewable energy and low-carbon solutions through 2025. And lowering emissions by modernizing our infrastructure, bridging to a sustainable energy future.
The trick to throwing well is knowing where you want the ball to go. Like how the local bankers at First Western Bank and Trust take the time to learn about you and recommend the banking services like online banking or personal loans that keep your goals on target.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
Circle Sanitation is a locally owned family business providing quality waste hauling services since 1980. We provide service to residential and commercial customers, as well as roll-off service for large projects and construction sites. We are dedicated to providing excellent service at competitive prices without deceptive contracts or hidden fees. For more on what Circle Sanitation can do for you, call us or visit circlesanitation.com.
Nothing has embodied the American spirit like the family farmer. Year after year, they continue to work the land and plant their crops. Through droughts, floods, and uncertain markets, they keep that spirit alive with another crop harvested for the next generation. And for that, we tip our hats to them. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting those that protect America's food source.
Life is for living, and at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business, making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
Welcome into another episode of Tauros Tribune Live. As always, I'm Kenota Kobe Brault alongside. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but Tauros have been looking good of late, really all season long.
Yeah, kind of same old, since the last time we talked here in the Bonfire Studios. Tauros saw a franchise record tying 9-game win streak. That was to end 2023. That fortunately came to an end 2 weeks ago at home against the St. Cloud Norsemen. Kind of a weird game. Mahler gets tossed pretty early. Kind of a typical game. We saw him 2 games in St. Cloud, then had 2 right on the back end back at the Mesa. You see any team in this division 4 times in a row, and typically there's some fireworks at some point. But yeah, got right back on track, took care of business on that Saturday game 2 weeks ago, and then saw a split last weekend down in the beautiful city of Aberdeen, South Dakota. Great game Friday. Came up a little. Oh wow! I just completely kicked that microphone. Sorry about that. Came up a little short Saturday, but yeah, all in all, I mean, still 9 points clear of second place right now. Bismarck sitting in second, but it's definitely a division that's tightening up. Just 10 points separating second and fifth place. So yeah, still plenty of hockey to be played, but things looking up for the Tauros as they kind of have been all year.
Yeah, I think anytime your quote-unquote slump is back-to-back weekend splits, that's not or it's a sign of a really good season, right? You kind of walk away from the last couple weekends feeling a little disappointed. And I know I've talked about it before, the way the guys have looked after losses, and same thing, right? We go down to Aberdeen, we get a split, and that was a group that seemed really unhappy walking out of the Odie on Saturday night after getting the win on Friday. So, going on the road, getting a split in this division is certainly not bad. It's maybe not what the team would want, but overall, for the guys to be that angry getting on the bus after a loss when they're 9 points up on the rest of the division, it's it shows you just how locked in this group is.
Yeah, no, it's a team of competitors for sure. That's the one thing that I think I've noticed throughout the course of this season. And you mentioned it on I believe it was Saturday's broadcast about how this far into the season, with as good as this team's looked, they're going to get everybody's best shot. Everyone's got the weekend that they're coming up here to the Mesa, or that we're going anywhere in the division. They kind of got that circled and that chip on their shoulder. They don't want to see that lead stretch out to double digits like it was or has been for the last few months. And so definitely a team full of competitors, definitely a team full of guys that hates to lose, and that starts with the head man, who we'll talk to in a little bit, head coach Cody Campbell. But yeah, not a ton to complain about. Like you said, 2 splits in this division the last 2 weekends, but before that you're talking about a 9-game win streak. So still a ton to be happy about in Toroland, and a big weekend coming up this weekend back home at the Mesa against the beloved Austin Bruins, who are actually kind of sliding right now. That's they've lost 5 in a row, 3 6-1 in their last, I guess 9 that would be. But yeah, a team that's kind of on the outside looking in the playoff picture, and definitely going to come in hungry for some wins.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that the Tauros and Bruins were dead even in the standings as recently as mid-November, and have gone in just completely different directions. But like I said, when I was talking to, I believe it was when I was talking to Nick Zwiecki Saturday's game during intermission, this group is going to get everyone's best shot from here till the end of the season. And it's good to see that they care as much. It's also good to see that as everyone's getting amped up to play the Tauros are still walking out of, like I said, the quote-unquote slump is a couple of weekend splits.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the biggest thing as we get towards the playoffs. You start looking at the playoff format, 2 best-of-5s, and those are usually absolute grind fest. I unfortunately missed last year's playoffs, but based on what you guys have talked about, just the Central, pretty much since its inception, it's been games, series that typically go 5 games, pretty rough. Barns full both ways that you look at it, and we know the Mesa is always rocking. Our fans have our back to the fullest extent, so it should be fun as we start looking forward to that. But still quite a bit of hockey left to be played.
And of course, this weekend coming up, a huge one, not just because the Bruins are in town, but we've got our Prairie Grit jerseys, which we should have brought one with us. Poor planning on my end there.
Forgot to grab one of those. That's
but Prairie Grit jerseys this weekend, a sled hockey exhibition during the first intermission on Saturday night, and just overall superhero weekend, always fun. We've got the superhero masks coming. Hopefully they get delivered on time here on Friday so that we can give those away on Saturday night. But always a fun weekend, and this year we were able to raise hopefully some big funds for our friends at Prairie Grit.
Yeah, and the jersey auction is live right now. It's not just jerseys that you can go get, though. We do have some Prairie Grit specialty mini sticks, and like you said, the proceeds 100% going back to Prairie Grit. A great cause, and just in the interview that we were able to do yesterday that you guys will see here in a minute, just really cool to see how much Prairie Grit's expanded over the years, and hopefully this auction this weekend, all the funds can go into that to continue to kind of expand that and be that for the community, a place that it's not just about sled hockey or one specific sport. It's adaptive sports for everyone, and really cool stuff over there. And also that I think the jerseys turned out pretty sick, if I'm going to be honest.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I seem like I say this all the time, but they're some of the favorite ones I've designed. But these did come out really, really cool, and it was, it's also kind of fun to get to work with different colors. After 12 years of designing Toro jerseys, to get to play with some different colors was certainly fun as well. But I sat down yesterday with Derek Hackett from Prairie Grit. We talked about, like you said, just the growth of Prairie Grit, the way it's supporting not just sled hockey, but all different adaptive sports, and also a little bit of doing therapy at the YMCA. I know I talk about it with Derek. My son's ADHD, and they've helped him come a long way as well. So yeah, let's see if we can give that a listen now. We're here in the Tauros locker room with Derek from Prairie Grit. Derek, I know you've gotten a peek at these before, but how great did these jerseys come out?
These are fantastic, Ken. I really love the shoulder up here, frankly, but these are beautiful jerseys.
You guys have the jerseys this weekend, and we're doing the fundraising auction. Typically, we like to talk to the organizations and let them know how our fans are helping the organizations. What will the money benefit Prairie Grit?
So it's Friday and Saturday. We're so thankful you guys put these sweaters on for us, and the auction is going to be phenomenal. A lot of that money will go to ongoing operation, but really specifically to sled hockey. That's the kernel that popped for Prairie Grit way back in 2016 when we started. Started off on the ice, right here at the Mesa Arena with sleds, just a few sleds, a few participants, just trying to provide opportunity to youth athletes who otherwise just need a little bit of a modification to a sport that so many of us actually love in hockey. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to tie all of that in to help support our operations and programming around that sled hockey sport that we have.
Of course, sled hockey is a huge part of what you did. As you said, it's what started Prairie Grit, but you guys have grown to be so much more, not just from adaptive sports, but also, like, I know my son who is ADHD like me, he gets therapy through Prairie Grit over at the Y. You guys have grown and become so huge. Just talk about the overall growth of Prairie Grit.
So I started with Prairie Grit in July, and we've already grown our programming since then, just 6.5 months ago. Hockey, obviously, golf, things that you need to have equipment to adapt, but we also find other things to adapt, just modify slightly so everyone can be included in sports. Probably our biggest one from the sports side is gymnastics. That's when you can start at 3 years old all the way to 16. It's kind of an entry sport for a lot of our participants. It's great because whatever diagnoses they may have, it helps them follow instructions, kind of learn how their body can move, just the way it's made, because all of our participants have various abilities that they're really good at and various interests, but that gymnastics can really help them kind of start to dial in on what they can and they can't do. So aside from that, we have art installations. We had Zod Arts this summer with Ann Carlson. We have golf. We have a golf simulator coming up in February. Sled hockey continues through the season. Wheelchair basketball for youth and adults. There are no bounds to the programming that we kind of install, and just about anything that we see that someone may enjoy, we try to find some way to adapt it, whether it's through our own means or if we partner with another organization to do so.
And that's one of the things I love about Prairie Grit is the way it's grown and grown to meet the interests of the participants and also help find more participants. You mentioned as well the hockey and tweaks that people might need to be able to participate, but also I know I've jumped out during sled hockey a few times. And have you been out for that at all?
It's one of my favorite things I do now. Wednesday nights, we have kind of open adult sled hockey here at the Mesa, 8:45 on Wednesdays, and it's great. You need nothing but just a willingness to be humbled by how complicated and hard that sport actually is.
I certainly have looked silly out there a few times.
But it is so much fun. I try to get anybody I talk to come out and play, and it's great. We have 8 to 20 people out there just playing around, having fun. We have a Paralympian there to help people out. He likes to play with his food sometimes, but he's a really great coach and a really fun guy. And kind of everybody that's tries that out seemingly always comes back a few times. It's really fun. I encourage anybody to try out sled hockey, and they can do that Wednesday nights.
For sure. And then the other big event you guys have coming up, which I'm excited to be a part of, talking with Chad Richardson, sounds like I'll at least be on the call for the broadcast, so I won't have to go out and embarrass myself on the ice. But the border battle coming up in March.
So Prairie Grit's trying to do something new, and it's something that we want to do annually. There's a sled hockey week coming up March 13th through the 17th. Within the sled hockey week, we have a youth and adult sled hockey tournament here at the Mesa. But along with that, we're bringing in Team USA and Team Canada, men's and women's national teams for 3 different international friendly matches. Now, if you're familiar with Team USA and Team Canada, kind of on any hockey realm, you know that this is a real rivalry, right? It's no different on sled hockey. They are fast, they are aggressive, they're competitive, and it is so much fun to watch. In fact, USA is going to have to defend their gold medal win in Beijing from 2022 in this one, where they won 5-0. So we expect 3 really great games from both men and women, starting on kind of a afternoon matinee on March 13th here at the Mesa. Men are at 12 noon, and women are at 3, and then they'll play again on Friday and Saturday as well.
Should be a lot of fun, and actually we're doing specialty jerseys for Team USA during that as well, which will be auctioned off.
You gave me a sneak peek, and they're fantastic.
I was honored to get to design some Team USA jerseys, so really looking forward to that as well. But anything else you want to plug here for Prairie Grit? How else can people, besides bidding on these jerseys or attending the event in March, how else can people help support Prairie Grit?
We're always looking for willing and able bodies to help volunteer. Money is always an ask for us, but really the time that people can give to volunteer to help our programming goes so much further than money can buy. So if anybody's interested in helping maybe some of our youth and adult participants get to experience the sports that we know and love, the way that they can best do it, we would love some assistance with that. People can get information on volunteering by going to our website, prairiegritsports.com, or if monetary donations are more your jam, we'll never turn those down as well. But more importantly, we want to see some hockey this weekend.
And then, just to be clear, helping out doesn't require any special training, just a willingness to come in and do the work, right?
Just like we do with our programming, we will put you in the best position for your abilities and interests. So yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated. You just have to be willing.
All right. Well, thank you, Derek. Fans, again, check out Prairie Grit online, and of course, bid on these jerseys here this week. The auction is already live. It closes at 9:30 during Saturday's game. If you're here at the game and you win one, you'll be able to take it home with you right after the game.
Welcome back into the Bonfire Studios North. We've got Cody Campbell joining us now, not just the head coach of the Tauros, but now head coach of Team Central at the NAHL Top Prospects Tournament. Let's start there. I know you're the last guy who's in it for accolades for himself, but how cool is it to be here as the coach of Team Central?
I think it's cool because you can get a couple more games in with our 4 guys that are going there. At the end of the day, if the players don't have the success that we've had thus far this season, that's I'm not the one that gets to stand behind the bench out there in Pittsburgh. So it's at the end of the day, that honor is a credit to them and what they've done here thus far this year.
Yeah, and kind of talking about those 4 guys that get to represent the Tauros out there: Lettinen, Yakums, Kettinen, and Stacks. Just talk a little bit about kind of that process and what you're hoping to see from them in their time out in Pittsburgh. Obviously, it'll help to have a familiar face on the bench, but
yeah, I mean it's just another opportunity for them to showcase themselves. The league does a really good job with this event, and something that's heavily attended by Division I programs, and yeah, it's just another way for them to showcase themselves to those schools that are all going to be in one place at the same time. So it's an opportunity for them to do that. It's also just a cool opportunity for them to not only represent the Tauros, but also go represent the Central Division against other teams and other divisions. It's the only time outside of the showcase and the Robertson Cup that there's really much crossover like that, especially at least for our guys. So be cool for them to do that, but at the end of the day, that event is about showcasing players to help them continue their careers academically and athletically.
How weird is it going to be on the bench with not just our guys, but then to have Bismarck Bobcats, Aberdeen Wings, and the rest of the guys from the division right there? Like, from a coaching standpoint, I know you guys don't coach too much during these games as far as strategy or anything like that, but how weird is it going to be just to be on a bench with guys from all around the division?
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. It'll probably put a little bit of give you a little bit more of a human element. When you're competing against somebody, it's hard to like them a whole lot, but it'll be cool to get to know some of those kids, and then we'll come back and things will go back to the way that they were. But it'll be cool, like I said, to get to know some of those kids from different teams within the division that normally you're competing against night in and night out. It'll be cool to compete with them.
Looking ahead to the tournament, obviously I don't want to overlook the other three guys who are going, but Trevor Stahoyak has meant a ton to this organization. Now all-time leader in games played, all-time leader in assists, all-time leader in points, and he's still got a shot at the all-time leader in goals record. I think he needs 11 more here over the rest of the season. So talk about what he has meant to the organization from your perspective as head coach.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we have enough time to get into everything that he means to us and means to this team and the organization in general. But I've said it before. Trevor is, to me, the perfect guy to try to model yourself around. As a younger player, he's conducts himself as a professional at the rink. Does a great job in the community, when he's not at the rink or when he's helping with youth hockey or in the schools or whatever it might be. And he's just a very good and very competitive young man that's had a great career here, and we hope to help him cap it off with something special, being a college commitment and then obviously a deep run this in the playoffs this year.
And just kind of pivoting from top prospect talk, we could talk top prospects all day, I think. But just kind of looking at the season as a whole so far, well past the halfway point now. Still sitting right where we want to be in first place. How do you kind of put into words how it's been going so far? And I know you're very much a job's not finished type of a guy. You don't really like to collect your flowers before it's time. But what are your thoughts on the season so far?
Yeah, I mean, a couple people have asked me that this week just from different conversations I've had and stuff. And obviously, if you told me our record would be what it is in the summertime, I'd probably take that. I'd probably say there's not a whole lot to complain about. But at the same time, we've got to continue to get better. There's a lot of things that we can clean up and need to clean up so that when it gets down to it, as the season continues to draw on, we want to maintain the level of success that we've had and build on it. We don't want to plateau or stay stagnant. So it's just a day-by-day mindset. We try to come in and get better each day throughout the week to prepare for the games on the weekend, and then be prepared and ready when the puck drops on Friday and Saturday night. So with that being said, you do have to enjoy it a little bit. Like we talked as a team about this week a little bit. Like it's okay to enjoy the success. It doesn't mean that we're going to stop working and stop trying to get better and improve. But you do have to take a step back, and it's been fun so far this year. That can change really quickly, and I think all the guys in the room know that, and it's kept them pretty motivated and pretty on task here all year.
You mentioned staying motivated and on task. When you have a double-digit lead on the rest of the division, maybe makes each individual game not feel all that particularly important, right? How do you go about getting the guys to stay that focused?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to them, their focus level, and the thing that I really value about this group is I don't think they look at it as it's we have X number of point lead or whatever. It's another game that we have an opportunity to win, and you've mentioned it before, like this group of guys doesn't take to losing very well. When that's the motivator and you're just in it with 23 other guys that you really enjoy being around and love, like you're going to come out the right way most nights, just in terms of your compete level and effort. And that's stuff that I haven't really ever questioned thus far this year. It's been the execution at times, of course, that can improve, and there's nights where you don't execute well and it doesn't go your way because of that. But it hasn't been very many nights where I've said, like, hey, we haven't competed to a level that makes us deserving of 2 points.
Definitely, and I think in looking at even the last few weeks, coming off a couple splits, that's a perfect point that you just made there. There's not really much you can look at on tape in terms of the guy's compete level. Sometimes it's just not your night, or the opposing goalie stands on his head. But it seems like the guys come out every night and no matter what, if they're coming off injury, if it's kind of been, we're getting into a bit of the dog days of the schedule here. It's these guys come out and they're looking for 2 points every night. And even just talking with, I think it was Casey a couple days ago, just coming to the office grabbing his phone, he asked how many home games we had left, and I told him I believe it's 11, but he was shocked that the season's moving that quick, because they're kind of in the trenches every week. I feel like they're looking at the next weekend and the next weekend alone, and how they can walk out of a weekend with 4 points. And I think that's a testament to you and Ebbs and the way that they are prepared. It also is a testament to the vets on the team too, talking about Stacks. And I don't know if I've ever met a human being that hates to lose more than Stacks, or besides maybe you. It's 1A and 1B between you two. So I think that's definitely a contagious feeling in that locker room, at least from the outside looking in.
Yeah, it's those guys, the older guys, whether they've been here previously or not, have done a fantastic job of just embodying the culture, making sure that everybody's on the same page with that, and it translates. Like when you have leadership, strength, and experience like we do, these are the kind of things and kind of year up to this point that you can have. And you could say anything you want about the coaching and staff and everything else. At the end of the day, the guys are the ones that put the skates on Fridays and Saturdays, and they're the ones that go out and do the work and compete to the level that has allowed us to have the success that we've had so far. So it's credit to them, and every single player has played a role in that, whether it's a younger guy buying into that, whether it's an older guy, making sure that guys know the way, whether it's, a veteran that is bringing experience from somewhere else, whether it's a guy that has gone through, the things that Trevor and Woogie have gone through over the last 3 and 4 years here, all those guys, and it might be in different ways, but everybody has played a significant role in that so far.
You talk about the way guys kind of grow up while they're here, and obviously we were talking about top prospects. The goal is to get them those Division I opportunities. Yeah, as a coach now, when you're sitting back, I know we talk about it on the bus or when we're out to eat after games all the time. You see a kid like Noah Ruprecht get his first college shutout this weekend. Braden Fisher gets his first college goal for UMD. A ton of guys have been putting up their college first here from last year's team or 2 years ago's team, right? How fulfilling for you is that when you see these guys going on to the next level, not just getting an education, but also getting a chance to play and produce?
Yeah, it's fulfilling for sure. It is, to have a small part in a young man's growth and maturity and the opportunity that they get. Again, at the end of the day, those guys are the ones that are putting the work in, but to have a small part in those things is extremely rewarding, and that's what we want for our players at the end of the day. We don't want them to just go to school. We want them to go to school and make an impact on the team that they're playing on. We want them to make a positive impact on the campus community that they're a part of, because there is more to it than just hockey. And the two guys that you just mentioned, Fish and Noah, like, those two guys are great players, and it's cool to see them getting rewarded. But talking to the coaches that they're playing under now, like all they talk about is like how good of a guy this guy is, how good they are in the locker room. And I really believe like that stuff leads to the on-ice success because they're, they earn those opportunities.
No, and I check UMD's box scores religiously. I love checking to see if Fish is in, and when we're on the road and do the intermission reports and Ken pulls up the college scores, if UMD's got a goal, I'm hoping it's Fish because he's the man. And Sandy and Rupin, all those guys that are moving on to D1, and like I can't imagine how fulfilling that is. And that's one of the few times I do see you smile, coaches, out to the restaurant after the game. You see a highlight coming from one of those schools. But pivoting back to the focus this weekend, obviously Austin coming to town. Let's start with, what are your honest thoughts on the Prairie Grit jerseys? Because I think they're pretty sick.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I would also like to mention that I might have played a little role in the design. They're very, very small, but I think they turned out really good, and will be cool to see the guys, and like Ken said, different colors. That'll be neat, and it's just the weekend in general, superhero weekend. Being my third season, it's been cool to see. How much that means to the community, and then to tie Prairie Grit into it this year, I think is just a perfect tie, because it, what that program does for the community and the participants within it is it's amazing. Like the different things that they're able to offer, all the work and time that's spent on that programming and stuff is really unique and special. And I've lived a significant number of places and junior hockey towns and big cities and everything else over since I was 16 basically. And when I talk to Chad Thompson and those guys, like I have never seen something like Prairie Grit. It is so unique, and I'm glad that we're able to be a part of recognizing them and then also helping raise some money for that organization, because it is like I said, it's special, and it is something that I think people in Minot are so accustomed to and having around and everything else. Like I said, I've never seen anything even close to the level that they do, and they're doing it right here in Minot, which is awesome.
For sure. I remember when they were first starting and they brought just the first few sleds to the rink, and I tried to cram myself into one of those and buzz around the rink a little bit, but to see it go from just Chad Thompson and a few other people with an idea to what it's become now is unreal. And I can't agree more. I'm very excited for us to be able to help out. I know we've done it. This will be the second set of Prairie Grit jerseys we've done, and really hopeful that it takes off this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited. The auction's been live for a couple of days now, and we're already seeing some jerseys blow up. Not to say that you can't get a jersey of your own. If the player that you want, the price is a little too high on that one, just pivot. Grab a second, third player and start bidding on that one. But like we said, all the money going back to Prairie Grit. So no better time to jump in on a jersey auction and to get a Tauros jersey of your own, especially if you swung and missed on the Black Friday jerseys. You may as well just, like I said, pivot. These ones look a little bit different than the Black Friday jerseys, but
a little bit easier to read.
Easier, to read, no doubt about it. But yeah, great cause, and super excited to see the fans come out. Hopefully attendance is looking good for both games this weekend, and we can walk out with 4 points and raise a ton of money for Prairie Grit.
We were talking about Division I commits earlier. We had a Division I commit mic'd up a week or two ago. Air Force commit Will Dawson. We'll let you guys give that a listen now.
You! Yeah! What'd you have for dinner?
I had steak, rice, and broccoli.
Oh, that's a good one. You're about to get shut down here.
You might be the most unfunny person I know.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
This is gonna be such a boring breakdown.
Well, this isn't gonna be that boring. Oh yeah, it's out! Pavel says he doesn't like talking to people with mics on.
Yeah, no.
I don't know why.
Are you nervous with the mic on?
No, bouncy puck. You nervous with the mic on?
Let him.
Nothing to say, Pav, still? Hey, I'll think of something.
You should have seen my village grandpa's over last night. Shaved his whole beard. I didn't recognize him.
Really?
I didn't recognize him until he said, "Holy mackerel."
Hey, Pavs, I'm on your team. Yeah, Pavs doesn't like talking to the mic. There's Caden Casey over there, number 12. Beauty of 2023. Beauty of the year. Oh, he saw it. What's up, beauty committee leader?
November, December.
That was me.
No, October, November.
Hey, I already introduced the beauty of the year, Caden Casey, your line mate. Brady with the big save.
Yeah, you did. You did catch a piece, but he was on his back.
Dude, it was the onion rings he ate.
I can't shoot that.
You know, there's a beauty of the month thing, and you get it for just being a beauty that represents this hand gesture, like whatever that is.
Community, 2-time winner on the mic today.
Yep, I was a 2-time winner.
Committee member.
And a committee member. Caden Casey was the beauty of the year, though.
Yep.
He was just a constant beauty. Oh!
Hail banger!
Hail banger!
What a coachable player. What a coachable player.
All right, hey, let's get out of here. Tauros on 3, 1, 2, 3. Tauros!
So again, that was Will Dawson. Cody Campbell stuck around. So Cody, I'm gonna ask you, who's the next guy we should mic up at practice?
Oh, none of them. Abs.
Abs, yeah. I'm thinking Pav based on how that one went. I think Pav with the mic on would be a sight. But no, this group, I mean, what can you say about, you know, the closeness of these guys? Just kind of final point here before we get out of here, Coach. I mean, it seems like these guys are always joking about something. They're always in on an inside joke that nobody else gets. Have you ever really seen a group like this?
No. They are unique.
Well, that'll just about do it for us. We've talked about it a lot. Prairie Grit weekend, superhero weekend at the Mesa Arena. Austin Bruins coming in for 2 on Friday and Saturday night. Both games drop at 7:35. Doors open at 6:30.
Yeah, first thing you should do, you should go to tickets.minotauroshockey.com. Grab your tickets if you haven't yet. Second thing, head over to the Dash app. Go ahead and start bidding on those jerseys. We may as well raise 20, 30 grand for it's all going to Prairie Grit. So
yeah, Toro's not keeping a penny of it.
Yeah,
so.
There should not be a ceiling to this. Just keep bidding. Honestly, if you could just run some bids up if you wanted. Even if you're not trying to buy a jersey, you can just get the bids up even higher. Tickets.minotauroshockey.com. Going to be a great weekend. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't know.
All right, that'll do it for us. For Sean Bachoven behind the scenes, Kobe Brault, Cody Campbell, I'm Ken Oda. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you Friday from the Pepsi rink at Mesa Arena.
Leave you up for a bit.